Bring this meeting to order. And the first case we got to hear is on special exception request for Mark Johnson. And the code enforcement officer will read the
Legal
special
notice.
exception.
Looking for the agenda. Here we go. Legal notice, zoning board of adjustment, town of Newmarket. You're hereby notified of a zoning board of adjustment hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on Monday, October 1st, 2007, the town council and chambers of the town hall concerning a request by Mark and Mary Johnson for a special exception, reference section 1.05B of the Newmarket zoning ordinance. The applicants request an exception to permit to add a dormer on the front side of the home only, which encroaches into the setbacks for the M2 zone. The lot is located at 4 South Street, tax map U2, lot 18, zone M2. Mr. Chairman, if I can show the board some photographs.
Yeah.
These were earlier photographs taken in the winter. And as you can see from these photographs, this is the abutter's house with a shadow on the building. The consideration of the board at that time was that a dormer placed here would add increased shadows on these windows. And these photographs throughout the day.
This also indicates that if you did a dormer on the other side, you'd get it back, you'd get shadow here.
Which would not be in the windows.
Right.
Okay. So these, you can see more clearer here with these shadows on these windows, how we move through the day. So with the applicant, if I can
Swoosh over here.
show the center. Again, these photographs were
Which one's the
taken
house?
during the winter. This is Mark Johnson's house. This is the shadow that is shown on the wall to the abutter's house. The earlier request was to have a dormer on this side of the house. That would have forced the shadow to show onto this side of the house, blocking all of the light that may have got into those windows. Again, you can see the shadow is a little more pronounced as the sun is coming up throughout the day. What the proposal is now is to place a dormer on the other side of this roof, which the shadow would show up, probably something like this.
This house is already blocking that window with the shadow, but not that one there. And the dormer in the front would have blocked that front one.
Would not.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, the dormer on the front at this time of day would not block this these windows.
Is it may I presume that since the sun is lower in the winter, that's the worst case?
I would think so, yes. And again, now we see that the sun has already blocked that window anyway, but the board has already made a decision affecting this, that even if that dormer was on there, it would cause a conflict. But as you can see, the sun is already blocking that window without the dormer on it. Again, the dormer being located here on the other side of the roof would cast shadow. Again, it's away from this window. Again, we're getting later in the day, it's away from this window. Away from the window, away from the window.
Okay.
If I can show you one more group of pictures for your reference. Is applicant has
Come over there.
Okay. The applicant has constructed a mock wall that would be the area of the wall of his proposed dormer addition
The dimensions.
with proper dimensions. Again, this is the window that we earlier saw in concern about the shadows. Again, we're on the other side of this roof. Same scenario, we're still on the other side of this roof. Distance between the buildings is about 3 feet 6 inches, if I remember correctly. And there's the window in question. And then here again is a better view of the front of the house where the proposed dormer is that will extend to this point. The purpose of this dormer is to provide 2 bedrooms for his daughters. As you can see, it's a fairly small house. They've renovated the basement area to use as living space. They have the upper level, which is grade, at the front of the house.
Oh,
Any pictures of it?
Yes, I don't have pictures of it, but it actually is grade at the front side of the house.
This is like the basement.
Yes. Used to be at one time was, I think, probably a garage area for parking years ago. This is a little bit of the front of the house, although we don't see the grade, but this door is on grade.
This is what, a room inside?
Yes.
Does it have, is that a corner board or is it
Yes.
a post I'm looking at?
I don't know what that is, tell you the truth. The structural integrity is carrying on the inside wall.
Oh, so there'd be no question if he's bringing it out to here.
Right, he's coming right to this edge right here with
to
the
that
dormer
edge,
edge.
okay.
Then what's this?
I think that was just to keep this
Oh,
up.
just to hold it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to support.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the case before you. As you see in my report, I didn't, indicate, any thought on, section F, although I did comment on A, B, C, D, and E. Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, now, the members, any board has any questions, they can ask the questions.
Repeats.
So basically, under section 1.05, under non-conforming, I believe it says, non-conformity, what we're concerned with basically is a B1F, which reads, "The expansion does not adversely affect abutting properties, public health, safety, or general welfare."
To answer that question, the board should consider items A through F for their own determination.
All right.
Okay.
So under A, the expanded structure is no closer to the lot line than the existing structure, which I don't
No,
I
we're
don't
not
believe
changing
it.
the footprint.
No.
No.
B, the expansion is not in the 100-year floodplain.
Correct, it is not.
C, the owner demonstrates that no other expansion which reasonably fulfills the intended purpose can be achieved in conformance with this ordinance.
The expansion that he's showing there is, he's building on the roof.
Yeah,
He can't go to either side or front and back, and
that's his only alternative.
pretty much his alternative.
D, sanitary sewage disposal and water supply are provided if needed.
Yes.
E, the expansion shall not render the lot proportionally less adequate.
My determination would be no.
And F is, the expansion does not adversely affect abutting properties, public health, safety, or general welfare.
And that's for the board to make the decision on that.
That's, do you have an opinion on that, Peyton?
No, I think we need to probably hear some
Testimony.
supporting testimony.
Yeah, probably we should have had the applicant give us a little speech about what he wants to do. Would you step up, Mark? State your name.
Mark Johnson, 4 South Street, Newmarket.
Yeah.
Good evening. We are proposing, I think, as Mr. Vincent had stated to you folks earlier, that we did try to do a full upstairs, and there was a negative impact to the neighbors, which they expressed, and the board voted against that, which we respected. We are bound within the lot. As mentioned, we can't go front to back, side to side, or our only alternative is to go up. It is a very small house, so we're just trying to make as much living space for the children as possible, especially. So we're just proposing on the east side, which is the front side to us, to put a 5-foot dormer. I think in your pictures from your conversation, There is a porch entryway on that side of the house, so there was a second roof, and that was about a 1 foot increase in height. It's almost a very flat right now. I did want to increase that by 1 foot. Just enough so that inside, there's a very steep set of stairs. If I have a little more headroom, I can make those stairs more like code
Safer.
and safer. They're very, it's an old house. It's a typical old house with very steep stairs. And I definitely think it would be safer for occupants or guests now and future, if we can do that.
So you were talking about raising this up a little bit?
This, yeah, this is only 5 feet,
Right.
which I had discussed with Dan as far as what would be permitted. And then this is just a 1 foot
Well,
increase.
this actually depicts,
Yeah, it's just a 1 foot increase.
this actually
depicts 1 foot
depicts
high.
the new roof line
Okay.
as opposed to what we were.
So that's,
That's so I can restructure, because right now the roof line comes right down over a shortened door, the entry door. So to make that, to put in a new one that would be weather tight and of new code and construction, I just need a few more inches. So that's all I'm trying to gain on that section.
Depending on what system you're working on. The question here is about conformity to the building code that Scott is answering, as well as the stairs. Just close. So, some structures will not permit because of their superstructure and the size of the structure itself.
won't affect the window.
The code does give forgiveness for the stair system. Should I share this with the abutters, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
Members of the public that are here, we really don't understand what's going on because the pictures have been circulated in the
Yeah,
front.
Dan has them
And
now.
I'm hoping that Dan can explain the same information
Yes.
to the abutters that he explained.
Yep, got him out there now.
Yep.
We'll let the butter speak and later.
This, you see
Does-
this,
Does any of the members have any more questions for Mark?
Nope.
The only other request, that was one, and then the other one was, we wanted to, and I don't know if you have a picture of the house, where the entry door is. Is it all right if I come
Yeah,
up?
please.
Just so that you understand.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
We were, providing the Russos don't have any issues with it, it was, this chimney is right in the middle of the house, upstairs. So if we can relocate that, it would be, well, according to Dan, 1 inch, there's a 1 inch clearance. But it'd be basically right against, to the right of the door here,
Exterior.
exterior.
Right.
Because the boiler's right there behind that wall.
Okay.
So that's where the boiler is. So if we can move this chimney, providing they don't have any problems with it, to right here,
That's not in front of their house anyway, is it? Their house is behind.
well, their house is over here.
Yeah, right, sure.
So as long as they're comfortable with it, we've tried to have these conversations ahead of time because it's just easier. As far as I know, they're comfortable, but if they have any questions or concerns,
So you just moved the chimney over?
yeah,
Take it out of the center of the house and make an exterior chimney.
right. Because if we can get the dormer,
Shadow business again.
if you vote against the dormer, I don't care if we move the chimney. I will say that much. It's just, if you do vote for it, then we would like to do that, just because it's literally right in the middle of the room of a very small room.
Yeah.
It would just give us that much more. But again, as long as it doesn't affect them or they don't have any concerns.
Would it be a brick chimney also, or
It's the
some-
what do they call it? Precast?
Precast concrete.
Precast
chimney block.
concrete. It's like a 17-inch block.
High,
It's already precast, and then you put the
higher
fluid.
than the peak, right?
The elevation of that chimney at 10 feet away, we have the peak of the roof. At 10 feet away on a level line, it would have to be 2 feet above that 10-foot mark. So it probably would not be as tall as the chimney that you see in the existing picture.
We all set with the applicant?
You all set?
I'd like to open it up to the public. Does the Public have any questions, any?
My name is Gene Brusso, 8.5 South Street, Newmarket. The only thing I want to say is I want it understood that the way they're going to do it is the way it's going to be. It's not going to be changed during the process. You know what I mean?
Or whatever's granted, that's the way it's got to be.
Okay.
They can't make any other changes.
So it's going to be a full dormer across to the height of that board you got up?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, won't exceed that.
On the back side only, not on the, nothing on the front side?
No,
Or wherever,
on the
whichever
back.
you're
Right,
calling it.
correct.
The applicant has referred to it as the front side.
Okay.
The applicant has also indicated that the existing ridge will remain as the extreme height of the building,
Right.
which is the other concern.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
One thing
If not, I'll close the public hearing. Members have any?
want me to,
Setback in the horizontal expansion of a non-conforming structure.
we want to discuss that?
Well, that's what he's meeting, is that those requirements, he's meeting those requirements under that criteria. Maybe you should ask
Pose
Mr.
it as a
Chairman.
question so we can all
Yeah.
Yeah,
partake.
Mr. Quinlan, Mr.
What
Chairman.
is the question?
Are we conforming, will this be conforming to the variance that he's come on, under here?
Well, we'll give him a special exemption, and it's not conforming, but it's just a special exemption that we're granting him so he can proceed with what he wants to do to make his space more livable. So that's why he's here, because he needs a special exemption to do what
Okay.
he's
so
doing.
that-
And I don't see any problem without granting it.
It's already a
It's up to the
non-conforming
members.
structure, and it's just
Yeah,
changing.
it's always gonna be.
But the horizontal setback expansion is still within the setbacks.
Yeah,
He-
it's on the footprint.
th-
The footprint.
This is not, he's going up higher. It's a horizontal well, you're an architect, so you know. But it's not encroaching on, additionally on any other setbacks.
Correct.
It's just going up more, that's all.
Okay.
As I understand.
Are we comfortable to make a ruling?
Yes.
If we are, somebody has to make a motion.
I make a motion that this expansion be allowed to proceed. That's why you had to do it beforehand. That this expansion be allowed to proceed, period.
And I think we need just a little more than that,
Thought you might.
as shown on his map.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't have a map per se.
There's a map there somewhere.
Agenda. You could probably use the agenda to begin the phrasing of the
Yeah.
motion for approval.
I think you took my paper.
And I probably have your agenda right here.
Yeah. I got it right, here's one right here.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you gotta make it according to this.
Is that for reference?
Make a motion that, in the property of Mark and Mary Johnson, that a variance be granted.
Special
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 exception.
exception.
Special exception, we could change that.
Change that.
Just change it. Just read it different.
Section 105B, F of the Newmarket zoning ordinance. The applicants request a variance to permit to add a dormer on the front side of the home only, which encroaches into the setbacks for the M2 zone. The lot is located at 4 South Street, tax map U2, lot 18, zone M2.
And we'll change that variance to a special exception in the motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
the motion references specifically section F. It should only reference the section.
Yeah, okay.
It should be inclusive, A through F inclusive. So I think the motion should read 1.05
1.05,
B.
yeah, referencing 105 B, A
That
through
would
F.
include all of them.
Yes.
A through F.
I'll second it as amended.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The special exemption is granted. Now, the only thing we've got to take up now is the September 24th minutes.
Oh, okay, very
Is
good.
that,
I'm very glad the neighbors were able to come to some consensus.
We'll go watch Game 5.
Okay.
We're out of here in a second, I hope.
Good luck.
We had the September 24th minutes to approve. Anybody got any questions on them? Roseanne was
I abstained, I
absent.
was absent.
Yeah. We need a motion to approve them,
I'll
unless you
make.
got any questions.
In front of me, that's the problem.
Do you remember the meeting? Do you have your copy minutes?
Right here. I'll second the motion.
I make a motion that the minutes of September 24th be approved.
I'll second it. Where'd my minutes go, over there?
Yeah, this one, Mr. Chairman.
There you go.
I got 'em.
Would Peyton like another copy?
Yes, I would, please, thank you.
Welcome.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And I abstained,
Aye.
Erica.
We need a motion to adjourn.
Nope.
Mr. Chairman?
Other
New
business? New business?
Under new business, I'd like to make a motion that we use Mitchell and Bates, attorneys from Laconia, New Hampshire, as attorneys for the ZBA.
I think we should wait till the chairman is here so that he can rule on it, and we would, and so then we would do it then.
I think Dana wanted us to do it tonight.
You have full authority as a board at this time if you desire to do so.
Well then, who wants to second the motion?
You've been here, the two of you have been involved longer than the rest of us, so if you have any negative thoughts,
I don't
would,
have any negative thoughts,
then I'll say,
no.
Second.
I'll second the
favor?
motion. Aye.
Aye, aye. Any opposed?
Nope.
No. Now, I
The
guess,
only,
any other new business?
the only thing I would add, once again, the clock comes back into it. I would
Yeah.
suggest that with the concept, with the understanding that the billing is copacetic with what has been
Discussed.
discussed or what we've been used to
Yeah.
in the past. I have
So
no,
I'll
I have no
amend-
idea what
Yeah.
that.
I'll amend my motion then.
The board should
Mhm.
make a motion whether we want them or not, or when we want them.
Right. I'll amend my motion to say what, about what Mr. Cass stated, pending, what was it, a billing notification?
Billing practices.
Acceptable billing
Billing
practices.
practices.
Yeah,
Upon acceptance
Of the board.
yeah, of the board.
You want to make that amendment to your motion?
Well, he seconds my
I'll
motion,
second
so I
the
amended my
amendment.
motion.
Okay.
So he'll second the amended motion, and we'll.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any other business?
If I may, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
from the, just some of the information I passed out, does everybody have the, if you care to have it, the public hearing?
Yeah.
Yep, we've got that one.
I've got my hand on that.
There was also a suggested forms.
Yep,
All this information is in your handbooks at some location, but if you find it a little more
and this one here from Tim Bates. is,
in the Tim Bates
almost-
document,
Yeah, verbatim for what's in our book as well.
Newmarket Zoning Board of Adjustment, October 15th. Cover.
Yes,
The,
that I believe is in section 6 of the 2006 land law use update. And a lot of it, he quotes, except for the most current case law that might not be in our workbook, will be in his.
He prepared the section 6 document anyway.
Yes,
And then you have the minutes of the last meeting. You have the review of the application request. This was requested by Chairman Glennon. Is that meet the board's needs as well?
which one's that, Dan?
This is the actual review.
Oh, that you wrote?
Yes.
Yeah, with the different criteria
Yep.
listed there. Yep,
Any other comment to that?
nope.
What would you expect, what kind of comment would you be
Looking for.
Well, this is, in the past, it's pretty much been a verbal comment after the reading of the case itself is being presented to the board. And Chairman Glennon thought best to actually
Oh, definitely.
have it in writing.
Mhm.
And on other occasions, it certainly will be supplied with the packet, but
Right.
time sometimes doesn't permit as much as we'd like to get done.
Yeah, that would be good to have in our packets that get mailed to us, so we could,
Which really will be satisfied if the board decides to use that extended period of time for deliberation, and certainly the board will find, it's the same information that it's in your handbooks. But certainly if the board takes that 30 days to deliberate on a presentation or an application request for a variance or a special exception, then deciding how you do so, whether or not you go through the book or use some form that entices your thought to look forward on it. But one thing that we don't do, and I would suggest that we do, is actually a site visit to the address, map, and lot, or wherever the application is being filed on, that pertains to it. Yes, sir.
One thing that came up again on Saturday about that was they spoke to the fact of individual site visits as not being, I mean, the constitutional right is you cannot, unless you've made an arrangement, you cannot go on the property.
Correct.
I mean, if you can see what you're talking about from the street, that's one thing, but if you need to go on the property, you need to have prior public approval. And that's where a general board visit that's been coordinated, like the planning board does, I guess,
Mhm.
it would probably be more appropriate and the easiest way to do it, but
To visit the site as a
You didn't
group.
really rule out the individual visit, though.
didn't rule it out, but you still have to get
Yeah.
prior approval.
if you're able to scope the site out from the street, then you don't need prior approval. But if it's a site that you need access to and permission from the applicant to access the property, then you would probably have to have your meeting and extend it, and also extend it to the public as well. It would be another public meeting there with permission from the applicant for the property, just like the planning board does. So it's something, on our more difficult situations, if we can't see it ourselves,
So we cannot go to a site individually.
we can if we can see it from the street. If we can garnish the information we need from the street viewing without trespassing on their property, then we could do that.
Well, I think you could you could go on their property with their permission.
You could put
Diane was-
something, exactly, Mr. Sheldon, you could put something in the application packet, when they fill out their application, authorize the zoning board of adjustment members to go for a site visit.
Revisit.
And put it right in the application, so
As a
that when they
group or
sign the
individually or either.
application, they give you authorization to
Yes.
go on to the site, to do site inspections, so that you can evaluate the site as part of the application process.
Prior to the meeting, too.
I think that's the simplest way to do it.
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
Or if you feel that you want to discuss it at the site, if that would be advantageous, then certainly having a site visit would be.
And that would have to be posted if we
That
had a
would have to
quorum.
be
If
posted.
we had a quorum.
Unless you, at the meeting,
No, no,
you set up
announce it.
the date of the sidewalk, and it's written in the minutes, so it's a permanent record, and all the abutters hear it, then you can do it that way. It's a good idea.
Previously, I've already always gone to look at a site,
Driven by, yeah.
driven by, like the
Mhm.
Dodge one, I went up, looked
Yeah.
at all the entrances, and
Mm-hmm.
what was there. I didn't go on the land.
Did you walk, you didn't walk
I
the,
didn't walk the land, but.
part of the interesting part of it, I guess, is the way that some of the lots have been carved and
Reconfigured, well.
reconfigured to include just enough of that isn't wetlands and,
Well, that has nothing to do with us.
no, thank goodness.
All righty.
Any other?
Anything else?
We all set?
Motion to adjourn?
Who wants a second?
Second. I'll let Mr. Quinlan second that.
Meeting's adjourned.